What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of Dark Powerrr, where we talk about everything that happens on AEW Dark Elevation and NWA Powerrr. There wasn't too much today, or this week, I should say, that stuck out to me from Dark or Elevation. That kind of happens to be the case a lot of times, but luckily NWA Powerrr came through with a lot of promo-heavy stuff and a couple good matches. So let's get to it, guys. All right, guys. First off, I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody that tuned in to this week's, or last week's, I should say, two-night watch-along of NWA's pay-per-view. The Crockett Cup was a pretty cool success. You guys got to do a little bit of a watch-along with myself and Romeo. Thanks to Romeo for joining me on that. It would have been pretty difficult for me to do 6 hours on 2 nights straight. So thank you again to Romeo for jumping on there with me. And thank you guys, like I said, for tuning in with Romeo and myself, and for everything that you guys do when you hit that like button, you comment, you share, you subscribe. If you join our Patreon, there's so much more that you're able to see. $3 a month is our entry-level tier. So consider joining today if you have not already. So like I said, there were a lot of kind of promo-heavy stuff on NWA. I'm going to try to run through the promos first and then get to the matches, with the exception of one promo because it happened after a match. So we had a couple promos that kind of stuck out to me. We started off with the Cardonas coming out there and Matt giving a good reason or a good excuse as to why it appeared as though he tapped, but he didn't. He was trying to get the crowd to rally behind him with Matt Cardona. He wasn't trying to tap, guys. That's not what he was doing. But, you know, the correct person won. The correct man won that night, as you guys know, or maybe if you don't. There was a low blow. There was some issues that happened at the ring, so suffice to say the least, and or suffice to say. And Chelsea Green got involved. Mickie James got involved. The Cardonas, VSK, and Mike Knox got involved. But Jeff Jarrett gets low blowed by Chelsea Green. He thinks, though, when he comes to, that it was Mickie James, and so he calls for the disqualification of Nick Aldis, preserving Cardona's title reign and technically also giving him the win. So he can always say that he beat Nick Aldis. That's probably not going to sit too well with Aldis, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We have another promo from Jax Dane, an interview backstage after the Crockett Cup, after what he did, where he cashed in his Champion Series win, his reward, and beat Anthony Mayweather. A good little promo from him. Nothing too crazy, just the usual from Jax Dane, but it continues to put over the fact that he is not just any old kind of heel. He is a thinking man's heel. He is an intelligent heel, and that's something that's really cool, considering when you look at him, you kind of think, oh, he's just going to be kind of a blockhead, kind of meathead kind of heel, but they're not giving us exactly that. They're kind of subverting expectations, and that's something that I will give kudos. I will give some, that's a check in the plus column for the NWA. We turn then to the Aldises, who have a promo backstage after the Crockett Cup. You know, like I said, it wasn't going to sit well with them, and they are a little upset, to say the least. I will say, to say the least. But Aldis promises that he's going to get another shot at Cardona sometime down the road, and when he does, he's going to rip him limb from limb. Mickie James also has a couple things to say about, and you know, we're going to be getting, if you haven't seen the news yet, we will be getting in the Multiverse of Matches, the Impact show that's airing right around the time of WrestleMania in Dallas. We're going to be getting a mixed tag match between the Cardonas and the Aldises. So that's something cool to look forward to. Additionally, we have a promo or interview segment with Tyrus and with Austin Idol that has a little bit of intrigue to it. Basically, what they're doing is they are doing a version or recreating the infamous body slam challenge of Andre the Giant, where if anybody can body slam Tyrus or get him off of his feet, really is the key, they'll get a TV title shot. Makes sense? Kind of cool. You're wondering who could they possibly bring in to be the person who's going to be able to take Tyrus off of his feet. He is 300 and something pounds. That's a lot to lift. Even if the guy helps you, even if he doesn't sandbag you, it's a lot to lift. Next, we have a promo from La Rebellion, basically saying we're still a tag champs. They didn't defend the titles, but they didn't lose the titles. I mean, they were just in the Crockett Cup. They talked some shit about OGK, and they talked some shit about the Briscoes winning the Crockett Cup, and basically how they're going to retain their titles. All right, so that pretty much gets the majority of the promos out of the way. There's one left to talk about, and we're going to get to that when we get to the match that happens right before that. But before we can get to that, we got to get to our opening contest of the night. And that is a tag match between the OGK and the Briscoes. La Rebellion's promo will happen right after. So this is a really, really good match. It's quick in the sense of there's not a lot of downtime between moves. The match itself has a good pace to it, has a good amount of time. There is a lot of good back and forth action here. The Briscoes are going to pick up the win over the OGK, and two things to take away from this. One, we kind of had a feeling, or coming into this match, you kind of should have had a feeling that the Briscoes aren't going to lose this match. They just won the Crockett Cup on Sunday. Why would they lose a match against anybody on Tuesday? Another thing is that this gives the OGK, kind of the ability, or originally idea was it would give the OGK ability to say, well, maybe we were caught unawares by the Fixers because nobody knew that our tag match with the Fixers, which happened well before the Crockett Cup, was actually going to be the opening round Crockett Cup match. And as we know, they were slotted in as the 3 seed, and the Fixers were the 14 seed, if I remember right. So now it's kind of a, let's get the excuses out of the window, right? And so the OGK get a chance to beat the Briscoes, and then maybe they have an argument to say, well, if we'd actually been in the tournament, we would have won the tournament, right? But alas, they are unable to do so. And the only other takeaway is that I really feel like Billy Corgan hates the OGK. I don't know what it is. I really don't. And the other thing is that Joe Galli keeps making the same mistake. He keeps saying that Jay Briscoe lost the Ring of Honor World Title to Mike Bennett. And to my knowledge, Mike Bennett has never held the Ring of Honor World Championship. I may be wrong there. I'm pretty sure I'm not, but I don't think he's ever actually been a world title holder. Let me do a little quick searching because I'm pretty sure he didn't. But yeah, no, he never held the world title, and more importantly, I don't think that Jay Briscoe never lost the title to Taven. He lost the title to Jay Lethal. He lost the title. He vacated the title, but he never actually lost the title to Taven either. So Galli's, I don't know where exactly Galli's getting his information. It might have just been like a title defense he's thinking of, or either way, but it's something that he's now said twice because he did say it at some point during the Crockett Cup broadcast itself. I do remember hearing him say that. So let's talk about the second match, which can't really be called a match. It should really, really just be called like a massacre. It's Trevor Murdoch, and it doesn't even matter who he's up against. This match is like a 2-minute match, and the guy just gets eviscerated. And after the match, Trevor Murdoch has a promo, and it's a really good promo because he's basically saying the kid gloves are off. And it's kind of a retread a little bit of what he said at the Crockett Cup when he had a promo there. But what I like about it is now it's after a match. Now we've seen the new edge from Trevor Murdoch, and we can kind of see him shifting maybe a little bit more into a little bit of heel stuff. And either way, that's just something cool because it adds a level to his character. He still is a face. He is still somebody that you can or maybe should root for. Yeah, he's a little bit more, like the fans didn't actually care about me because as soon as I got injured, they were chanting for Nick Aldis, this, that, and the third. And maybe he's not, the coolest with the fans as he was prior. But thus far, he hasn't actually done anything that's bad. Like he almost took a dude's head off with a clothesline. That's fine. It's within the context of a match. If the guy wasn't already injured, he wasn't beating up on him more than he should have. He was listening to the ref. It's not like it happened after the match. It's not like he cheated to win. So all they've done thus far is they've added an edge to Trevor Murdoch that he previously didn't have. And I kind of like that. I'm hoping that they stick with that and keep him in something of a tweener role where he's just more vicious, but we kind of like that. So either way, it works out for him. After this, we have arguably the match of the night, which is a little weird to say, but it is our NWA women's tag titles. They are on the line. We have the Hex taking on the team of Paola Blaze and Genocide. And the idea behind this match, because there was no number one contendership for it, is that should Paola and Genocide lose, they will be forced to disband as a team. That is the stipulation that was put on there when Taryn Terrell went to Billy Corgan and said, let us get a match. He said, well, you haven't done anything to earn it, so you got to have some skin in the game. So this is a pretty good match. I really kind of like this one. It had a solid back and forth. They had the classic, Genocide standing off with Allison Kay, throwing the bombs. You kind of expect that's going to happen. No matter how many times these two teams lock up, you kind of know there's going to be some moment where Genocide and Allison Kay are staring at each other from across the ring. They're probably the two largest competitors in the women's division outside of maybe Camille. I would probably give the striking edge to Camille if I had to, but these two are nothing to laugh at, nothing to sneeze at. And a good match because also within the match, while there's the pairing of Genocide and Allison Kay, the pairing of Paola Blaze and Marty Bell also has some heat behind it due to previous matches they've had. And so it had just a nice chemistry between the two of them, or between the two teams, the four of them, I should say. But unfortunately, Paola Blaze and Genocide are unable to pick up the win. They don't get the win at all. And they're unable to get the tag titles. And so they will be forced to disband as a team. Taryn Terrell has been trying to keep this team together, trying to downplay the issues between Genocide and Paola Blaze. Well, now she's got a much, much larger problem on her hands because they can't team together. That was a stipulation. So we'll see if there's a way that she tries to work around it, or if we're going to get a Genocide Paola Blaze match. They were having issues. Let's see what happens with this. And that leads us to our main event. And our main event is a good match as well. The reason why I gave Allison Kay, the Hex, and Genocide and Paola Blaze the edge was, to me, it felt as though there was just a little bit more chemistry. However, from a technical standpoint, if I was going just on technical, I'd probably have to give it to this main event. It's Homicide with his newly won Junior Heavyweight Championship, putting it on the line against Austin Aries, one of the guys who was in the Fatal 4-Way. And this match, like I said, really, really solid. It just seemed as though there was some, I don't know, like what it was, just some kind of communication problems between the two of them. They do dueling spots where each one has the foot on the rope. They have a nice, as you can see here, the last chancery from Aries. There's a little bit of brawling on the outside. There's a tease of a Death Valley driver on the edge of the ring. And a good back and forth. I think that the wrong person won the Junior Heavyweight Championship. I would put it on Colby Corino, as you guys probably heard during the preview episode last week for the Crockett Cup and during the Crockett Cup itself, the night 2. But I can't say that Homicide's a bad choice because he brings something to that title, kind of a legitimacy. Let's put it that way. Even Aries would have done that as well if he had won. But Homicide brings a legitimacy to the title. One thing I gotta say is, and this is just confusing me, I can understand why Aries gets the title shot, because he was in the Fatal 4-Way, but like he wasn't super involved in the finish. And I can kind of understand why the Hex have to defend, but they literally just had a title defenses 3 days ago on Sunday. Now they're doing it. Now they have to put the titles on the line. But we didn't see that from Jack Stane for the national title. We didn't see that for Tyrus for the TV title, nor did we see that for Camille for the women's championship. So hopefully we will see that in the future. But overall, from a 5,000, 6,000 miles up in the air overview of this episode of Powerrr, it was good in that it moved storylines along. It gave us teases and tastes for things that are going to come down the road in the form of this edge now with Trevor Murdoch. We kind of know that we're going to be having some kind of continuation of this Aldis and Cardona's storyline, and just this interestingness of who's going to be the person that body slams Tyrus. That's going to be something that we kind of have to figure out, because Tyrus is getting dangerously close to that lucky number 7. And right now there is a heel that holds the world's championship. Are they going to do a heel versus heel match? Are they going to have Tyrus just delay defenses of a championship that's called the TV title? That I don't know. That's something that we got to see. But that'll be something that we talk about in future episodes of Dark Powerrr. So, guys, I want to thank you once again for tuning in. Remember to hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe. We are on the march towards 3,000 subscribers. We are trying to continue to grow our Patreon. Our WrestleMania week, you guys are going to be seeing a lot of announcements from us about different cool guests, different cool people, and just an insanity of stuff that we are going to be talking about, doing, reviewing, all that kind of thing for WrestleMania week. As you guys, I don't know, maybe not as you know. I know I've said it maybe once or twice, but WrestleMania week is the one week out of the year where I will watch WWE. I won't watch the main roster stuff, but I will be on the NX3, the Go Home show. I will be on the NXT Stand and Deliver watch along on next Saturday. So, guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I'll catch you later.